Okay guys, now if you wanted to add a piece of aluminum foil, you can enhance your gift even more. Because what the aluminum foil does, once we wrap the cotton ball and Vaseline inside of this, it works as almost like a candle effect. And you'll see as I'm making it. But they're easy to store this way, and they burn a little bit longer. So we have a piece of tin foil. They also make very pretty gifts, this one here, if you're liking that. I mean, presentation is everything when you're giving gifts, right? So let's go back to our bag of cotton balls and Vaseline or petroleum jelly that we just made. And I'm going to take a couple of them. There's one. And usually for these, being that the purpose of the tin foil is to help them last a little longer, I'm going to take a couple of them and use two for this project right here. So there we go. Our Vaseline and our cotton balls and petroleum jelly, I've taken two of them and I've thrown them right on the tin foil. And I got this idea from Dennis at SpartanJohns, guys, and I've showed it on my videos previously. I've just never showed how I made them. So we have two of them there, and we just kind of want to keep them compact. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to roll it. Can you see that okay? I'm just rolling it. The cotton ball and Vaseline are right here. And I'm just kind of rolling it kind of tight. And it's going to essentially make a, it encapsulates the cotton ball and Vaseline. So you see it right there. And then I just fold down the sides. I mean, there's other fancy ways that I've seen people do it, but I'm all about easy and simple, guys. And then this side, we fold it in. Kind of just roll up the sides, almost like a hobo meal. You know, you just roll up the sides on the bottom. You can fold in the corners at the end. But I found that when you roll it, it works well because you could always unroll the ends and kind of set it up like a candle. If you can see that okay, it kind of stands up on the feet. So once you roll up the ends, you can either roll them all the way down, and then you can just lift these up at the end and stand it up. And I mention a candle because that's what's created in here. When the fire burns, the petroleum jelly is getting saturated and collecting on the bottom, so it creates a longer lasting effect. If that makes any sense, guys. So I found that these will work really well. Not only does the tin foil assist, but you also have two cotton balls and petroleum jelly in there. So you could make several of these, throw these all in a bag, and give these tin foil fire cube type of things. And the way you would use that, let's see what I got here. Is ideally you'd take your knife and just cut an X into the top. Can you see that okay? So I've cut an X at the top. I'm using my ferro rod striker here. And then I'm going to flip up the ends. So the X is going to create the 4 flaps that all go back, okay? So you're left with this. And then you just want to fluff out a little bit. You know, create some hairs in there for the sparks to catch on to. And then for fun, let's use these stands there. So we've cut an X in the top, we've opened up the flaps, and then we've just got some hairs out of the top, you know, reached in with our knife and got some hairs on the top. And just like the other cotton ball and Vaseline project, the throw method is going to work just fine because Vaseline and petroleum jelly catches really well as long as you have those fine hairs. And that's going to burn for quite some time, guys. So now this is our cotton balls, 2 of them, and petroleum jelly inside of our tin foil. And I have found this to be a very effective method. So this is another one of those techniques. Let me just get a little more of the hairs here. This is one of those techniques that if you have your fire prep all set, we're just going to lay it right on there. So our pencil lead size sticks, we're going to lay it right on there. And this is going to burn underneath long enough for you to get your fire started. And it's a nice slow burn, it's a nice steady burn. Dennis had mentioned before on his channel that he's used these as a candle before because they have those legs on the bottom. If you can see that. He set that on a table and just used that as a candle. And I've tested them out before, and they do burn longer than just your cotton ball and petroleum jelly. Okay, let me show you something else about these guys. So that burned for a while, the petroleum jelly and cotton balls inside of our tin foil. That burned for a while and I just put it out. Okay? The good thing about these, if you are using it as like a candle or something like that, you can put it out, you can leave, you can do what you have to do. And then let's say we come back to it. This tin foil has held the fire starter together. So you can put it out. You could also even pour water right on it, and if you get the right threads to come out, that's going to relight for you. So this is going to keep going for you. I mean, if you don't use it all, let's say we're using it as a candle, we don't let this burn straight through. We can simply just put it out. We can blow it out. We can put it out, stomp it out, whatever we want. But cotton ball and Vaseline, guys, doesn't care if it's already been put out. It doesn't care how wet it is. As long as there's threads, it's going to light up every time for us. Okay guys, so we've talked about being able to give them as gifts right in the bag. So if we have cotton ball and Vaseline right in the bag, we can simply give the gift just like that. And I'll even, where's my bag? That's how I'll carry it sometimes in my cook kit. Just a simple bag of them, and you can reach in anytime and grab them. We also talked about the capsule holders or the pill holders from U.S.T. and the smaller one from Rite Aid. You also saw me using the ferro rod and striker on this here. So if you really wanted to dress up your gift for not very much money at all, Nathan 4071 has ferro rods with the holes in them. All I did was put a piece of jute twine through, and if you're not familiar with jute twine, that's an automatic fire starter anyway. And then I put the striker on there, okay? So I have a piece of jute twine that holds a ferro rod and a striker all on the same string. All I need to do is take one of my capsules. Let's take the UST one. And put it through. And there we go. So on one piece of jute twine, I have a ferro rod striker, and a capsule full of the cotton balls and petroleum jelly that we just made. So you could even, this is also a do-it-yourself type of deal. You could even give this as a gift and be providing a full fire kit. This small one can go right on my regular keychain. As we mentioned, this one's a little bit larger, but on my smaller keychain, I can just keep this right here. I have cotton ball and petroleum jelly on me at all times. Any emergency situation, anything like that. We also discussed the option of our tin foil with cotton ball and petroleum jelly on the inside. You can make these cubes and throw them all in the bag. You can make these cubes with one cotton ball. I used 2 in this one. You could use 1 and throw several of them in one of these. Or, the most simple way is to give the gift like this. Okay guys, well thanks for joining me on this little do-it-yourself video. I appreciate it. I really enjoy seeing everybody, and I hope I was able to give you some good ideas with the simple concept of petroleum jelly and cotton balls. I mean, with this right here, you just saw there's several very inexpensive gifts that can be made. My thought was with the children. Children love to make gifts for people, and if the children have a mom or a dad or a brother or a cousin that is into the outdoors, they can make these for themselves. If you want to spend a little bit more, you can put together some different projects. You could put together our jute twine little kit here with the ferro rod, the striker, and the capsule. You can just have the capsule. You can just get a capsule at Walmart for $4. Either way, the outdoors person in your life is going to love it. And it's not going to cost you a whole lot, and it's a very fun project to do as a family. Thank you once again, guys. Nice to see ya, and we will talk to you again down the road.